All right, welcome back. Got another exciting top 8 match here for you. But before we get into that and the deck photos, let's watch the intro.
Greetings, old school magic players, and welcome to the Four Horsemen.
All right, so I wish I would have paid attention, but this deck, I believe, is the same deck that was played in the 28 finals I went over. I did not have a deck photo of. I'm not sure if this is exactly the same as was played in the tournament, but here she is. And those are FBIFs. It looks like what he's using is the Serendibs as proxies for the IFBIF, I think. If not, they are Serendib Ifrits and one IFBIF. Either way, when you mix the two of them together, it's pretty much impossible to tell from a video standpoint. So either way, we're just going to assume, because there is no blue mana in here, that those are IFBIFs, not Serendibs. So we do have the 3 Spirit Links, which is a good control card. They're really good with Tracker. You have Arena, which is like a fighting card, a lot like Tracker. You have the bottles, which are absolutely amazing. And I believe this deck has one of the coolest names ever. Mana Crypt Wanted will pay 3 life. Yeah, some of us are considering putting Mana Crypt into the format. It's been up for debate for a while because it's technically like a promo type card. It's not really part of a set. So they're talking about maybe adding some cool promo cards into the Four Horsemen format. So I'm not really sure how that's all going to, but I know that it's a thing everyone's been looking into for a while. But either way, we got the 2 land taxes, like I said, which are basically just to filter your basics out. So your draws are highly likely that you are not going to draw a land and you're going to draw a usable card. And that's where the card advantage comes from. Land tax has an insane card advantage. It's not necessarily needed for other combos. If you think about it, if you proc off twice, that's 6 basic lands out of your deck. If you're down 6 lands, plus I'm assuming you're on turn 3 or 4, you probably have 3 or 4 lands out. If you think about it, that's 10 lands. That's probably half your deck in lands, meaning your percent chance of drawing a non-land card is astronomical. And that's only on 2 simple procs early in the game. So this deck is awesome. He's doing what I love to do. I like to play 4 Divine Offerings main because I love to make people cry. It's such a fun card. But I love this deck. I want to see exactly how it pans out again now that I realize that I think all 3 of those are IFBIFs, even though they are Serendibs. I think they're IFBIFs. So I will find out here shortly when we play. Let's go on to the other deck photo here. This deck always makes me twitch when I play it because it scares the crap out of me because there's only 1 mana drain and there's 3 All Hallows Eve. So you can't really stop a sorcery from going off. So I sideboard 2 Crypts, but it still is a very, scary thing because I only play 2 creatures. So it's not like I'm putting a bunch of stuff in my sideboard. So we'll see how this thing goes. I'm excited to watch this deck, but I literally like twitch when I play this. This is one of the decks that I'm scared to play a lot, just because there's not much I can do against All Hallows Eve in my deck. But let's get down to the first part of the video here. We have Jim on the left and Tim on the right. Some sweet mats. All right, quick drop on Brass Man. Like I said, I love Brass Man. He will stop pretty much anything in the early drops of this game in this format. I shouldn't say this game, but this whole entire format. He will stop most of it. One thing I was toying around with actually, since we're just watching these guys go back and forth and we're already starting to dump creatures with the Bazaar here, is I was looking into ATOG. Brassman's a good target. There's a lot of quick things that I can stop my opponents from going right away and tag with other colors. But I'm really considering messing around with ATOG also. I think he's underrated in this format. You also have the wand to make him unblockable at first. Now, he's ramping up pretty quick here. Yeah, that's what I would do. I'd be afraid of an All Hallows Eve already. At least it'll buy him another turn. Now he does only have 3, so it could take him a little while. Well, there's a land tax. Hmm. Yep, I was gonna say, are we gonna draw and pitch? Fallen Angel, a land, and an oubliette. There's another island. So he will get a land tax go off. Well, no, he won't. Boomerang. Great card. So now he's going to waste his mana to play another tax. Alright, so there's a Ashnogs, I believe. Probably pronouncing that wrong. I never play that card. One advantage I had against Jim and these other decks I played is I play Wand of Ith and Amnesia. And I know Wand of Ith discard a card, but you gotta watch. Basically, I think what came down to one of the games, couple games I played, is they had no cards in hand. So they couldn't use Bazaar because they wouldn't get anything out of it. So they're basically in top decking mode, which gave me an advantage. Alright, so there we go. Let's see what we got here. Penelhaven. Definitely have enough mana here. Doing something here, hopefully. Alright, there's a tracker. Well, that's good because that'll stop the Brass Man. We're going to pitch a land. Let's see what Jim's got going on here. I'm guessing Jim might be a little in the tank, but he's probably looking for that other black source. Nope, just to pass with 3. Tim needs a threat on the board here. This will help him out because if he grabs 3 lands, it'll increase his odds of drawing cards. Looks like we're only going for a 1. Tim's basically on a clock, but a different type of clock. So I'd almost draw the maximum amount of lands I can, even if I'm throwing them all in the bin, just because I want to dig. I don't want to draw lands for my draw card because you gotta do something like fast. Because All Hallows Eve comes out, you have a few turns to kill him, otherwise you're gonna die. Alright, so now I cannot see what that is with the glare, but I'm guessing it's an F-Biff Freet, maybe? Alright, so he's not gonna untap Brass Man. I thought we would have had an attack with Tracker also. I would have buffed Tracker and just attacked. Uh-oh. See, now I'm expecting... Oh, there's a new Bliat. Oh, yeah, looks like it was a free, I think. Now, this would have been another 3 damage to his face. So it would have been 6 damage already to Jim's face. Wow, that creature pile is looking extremely scary at the moment. Come on, grab all 3 lands. There we go. Yeah, that should help Tim's card advantage here to his favor now, hopefully. But basically, if you use land tax for card advantage, even if you're throwing your lands in the bin, does not matter. You want to filter them out as fast as possible. Especially, you want to do damage as fast as possible and filter as fast as possible against All Hallows Eve. Because that clock is short. Alright, so now we have a lot of mana. Tracker's still sitting there unused so far. This will be the 3rd turn, I believe. So I would buff him and attack. Or just attack him. No, we are buffing. Okay. So if I'm not mistaken, I'd have to rewatch, but I believe there's 6 damage that could have been done already. That would have been almost half his life, if I count right. As you can hear, I have a little distraction behind me, but I believe that would have been put him at 11. Well, there's Mr. Beefy. Let's see what we got here. I forget his power and toughness, but that's funny. Pitch and attacks and a land. Now, if he had an All Hallows Eve, he would have played it. So, he's in a tank, so he only has 2 cards in hand. So he's got to actually wait turns now. This is why I said Wand of Ith is important, because he would be losing life to keep cards in his hand. So if I pulled anything, All Hallows Eve, or anything out of his hand, it didn't matter. He would have been losing life to keep that card, because he can't use Bazaar if he doesn't have enough cards in hand. So it's almost like direct damage to the face. But now Tim has a couple creatures out, a lot of mana. Now Jim's the one on the clock. All out. Yep. That's a huge hit. So that's 13. He's down to 13. But if you remember, I believe there was 6 damage that was missed. So technically, he's a lot less than that. So he's at, in my mind, he's at 7 health. That is a lot of mana, but I'm not sure what that is. Oh, mana drain. Oh boy. I hope Jim has a way to use that mana. Oh, Desert Twister. I'm guessing that was on the Bazaar. Could have been on one of his black sources too. Now he has enough cards he can draw 2 and pitch 2. But he can't use... He's got to use his mana. There's a Colossus. Now, the thing about Tim is if you think of how many cards we went through, I would put money there is a Divine Offering in his hand. I mean, he's got 9 artifact destruction. Oh, you know what? We're probably looking up the rule with Colossus and Pixie. Because Colossus has trample. I wonder if that's what we're looking for. So we're going to play the Pixie. Oh, we're playing 2 Pixies. Oh, what happened there? Alright, we're back. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I have to look it up here, but I believe trample goes over. Alright, so there's attack for 4. Yeah, he might as well because he's going to take the damage from... I cannot tell what that is. Oh, there's Tracker. I think that's Archaeologist. Alright, there's the... Still has not found an All Hallows Eve here. Now, if my original math was right, Jim would have died this turn because of the pixies. It may not have made a difference with that board that I'm looking at, but... Looks like we're grabbing and playing. There's the Tracker. I'm sure we're going to buff up a Pixie. No? Okay. Yeah, if my math was right, he would be at -1 at the moment. That's assuming Tracker was attacking as soon as possible, but I could be wrong. I thought we went 2 turns, maybe 1 that we could have attacked. Pitch a Brass Man and a King. I'm sure that's on a Pixie. It's technically not exiled, but put him off to the corner there. Can't really do much of anything. I could still hit him for 3. But he could have used the artifact prior to add an extra damage. There goes the Colossus. Now, Colossus could have attacked and went through once at least. But I'm sure he didn't because he was trying to hold back everything. That's it for that one. Alright, let's go on to the next game. That was exciting. Alright, we're on to game number 2 here. I'm shocked Jim didn't find an All Hallows Eve. He went through a lot of his deck. Forest and Pass. See if he's got double black already. Yes, he does. And a stone. To a Brass Man. He's got 4 cards in hand. We have a Pixie, so that's good for Tim. Uh-oh. I'm expecting a creature dump on Tim's end step. Or is he doing it now? I mean, he could do it now, because if he ends up drawing a stone, he could play another stone if he's short on mana. Oh my god. Oh. Yep, there's a stone. I was wondering if that was going to happen. Okay, so now All Hallows can go off next turn. I mean, obviously it's on the clock, but at least he can play it. So Tim's got to move extremely fast. There's a swing for 2. Let's see what we got. Yep. That's a sorcery, so there's really nothing you can do about it. Don't use that. Save that. There you go. Now, the one thing that would be good for Tim is if he has 2 Divine Offerings and a drop of honey. That would make a difference too. Wait, what are we doing? Oh. Okay. I don't think there's enough of a clock for that. This time is too short, but I probably would have played a preacher. Because you can always take a Colossus, attack with Colossus, and then give it back tapped. There's a swing for a 1. Clock is down the 1. Wait, what? Yeah, okay. Alright, he's going to have to play the preacher now. It's either that or he plays a drop of honey at the moment. Oh, tracker. So So I would have thought you would have played the Preacher because you could take one of the 9/9s. So he has a Divine Offering. So Divine Offering 1/9/9, take another 9/9, give it back tapped, and then take the 4/4 flyer. See, now you got, oh, there's a Trike in there too, I didn't even notice. Now Trample goes over Pixie. See, it's a little late because now you can't use it. So all those creatures will have an attack phase now, where a Preacher could have stole one. Now he would have been no tracker on the board, but would have had money or mana open for the Divine Offering. So I think the only thing that would have got through is the 4/4 flyer. But we'll see what happens in a real game here. Well, ashes to ashes, so wouldn't have made much of a difference. Hopefully he has 2 Divine Offerings. I like playing Diamond Valley, and there's another card. See if you guys can figure out what it is, but on your upkeep, you can sacrifice a creature to gain life equal to its toughness. So when I play cards like Preachers and other things that take control, I will take other people's creatures, usually combined with a Cry Shield, and sack them to Diamond Valley. So I basically take opponents' creatures and gain life with them. Let's see if you can figure out what that artifact is, because that would be Diamond Valley, and 1 to 2 of those artifacts, that would be 3 in a deck. So chances are you're going to find one of them, which means every single turn I can take any creature I want from my opponent and sack it. So I believe it's Rubini is another good one. She can take any creature she wants. Preacher and Old Man take smaller creatures, depending on how far you want to get into it. Now, a White Fog would be nice. Oh, he's splitting it. Well, that gives Tracker a chance to kill them all. So it's less damage he takes this turn at least. Oh, there's Diamond Valley. Speaking about Diamond Valley, and a Sage. Oh boy. We're gonna all out swing here? What do we have? That's 7, 8, 9. That's way more than lethal at the moment. So he's gonna block and kill, I'm assuming. Divine Offering, one of the Colossus. So I'm guessing, did he block the trike? Maybe he wants to keep his tracker to ping off the other guys. Yeah. I would have blocked the trike and then did damage to the other guy. Alright. Need another Divine Offering here. Yep, Divine Offering. Holy Lifesaver. And Diamond Valley's already tapped. This time he actually gains a life. There's a bottle. That can make a huge difference. Yep, swing with everything but the sage. Down to 7. Now I would use the sage for the brass man. Draw a card. Let's see what we got. One thing I noticed about Jim's deck is he's always short on mana. So if you attack his stones, and say you have some blights in the sideboard and strip mine, you can actually take away his ability to play. Not sure how much mana he has in his deck, but it seems like usable mana sources are pretty low. Are we gonna see an activation? This is awesome. Well, I guess that didn't matter all that much. Alright, let's go on to the next game. That was a cool game. Alright, let's see what we got here. Tim knows he's got to go quick now, so let's see what happens. Forest Pass. factory. Here's what I meant about usable mana sources. What I mean is non-colorless and lands that don't produce mana. So basically, or colorless mana and lands that don't produce any mana. Seems like Jim is very short on colored mana sources. See what happens this game. So there's Tim dropping all colors, so that must mean he has something to do with them. If not, he is only keeping 2 land hand. No Pixie? Could be holding a Divine Offering. Yeah, Pixie. But that tells me that Tim might be short on mana. Alright, there's one color source. You're gonna see a... oh, okay. Sage. I figured we were gonna see a stone. That's actually good for Tim. You don't want Jim to get to double black and 4. Alright, so now we got a plains. That's good. I'd swing all out here. Worst case, he loses the sage. Yep. Alright, maybe take a turn then. Not swing. If Tim finds another pixie, that's not good for Jim because Jim won't be able to activate his factory if Tim gets rid of that sage and Jim doesn't put down another creature. He can't even activate his factory because it would be taken with the preacher. So all Tim has to do is get rid of that sage there. That's what I was thinking, just attack, because worst case scenario, it takes 2. He might want that sage for card advantage. So I don't know if he would really block with it. And the factory can't. So that might have been 2 damage right there. Not have the cards he needs. So he's gonna be gifted the sage. And now I'm expecting an attack. And I'm guessing he has a Divine Offering in hand. But now the pixie can swing straight through. Alright, there's a stone. There you go. Turn her sideways. Here we go. Pump for 2, or hit for 2. Now we should see... oh, that's even better. Okay, good. What else are we seeing? Oh. See, I would have played that first. An extra point of damage. He's going to boomerang the sage back to his hand. So he must be desperate on cards. He's probably going to play something and sack it right away. Oh, he bounced the preacher. Okay. I wasn't sure what he was doing. So if he had a Bazaar, he could have bounced the sage to get enough cards to discard without risk. But I would have probably... this is why I thought originally, I don't think he would have blocked the original attack with the pixie, because right there you can tell he wants his sage. So I think it should have been 2, and then if you played the artifact first before the attack, that would have been 3, so that would have been 5 damage off of Jim's life, I believe. But Jim really wants his sage. I would just pump and attack. I wonder if I'm missing a rule. No, because it's damage dealt. There's no reason why you can't give it a +1/+1. I mean, I know he's probably trying to combo that with Divine Offering, but you gotta kill him first. So it's 3, 6, 7, 8 damage in my head to Jim. That would have been done already. So I think I'm 6 damage ahead in my mind. So if my calculations are right, with a headache too, I believe Jim would have been 6 life lower. Okay, so there's a Trike and a Bazaar. There's the pop, I'm sure. Yep. Nope. I'd pop it off. Because you can't attack with the Folk because of the Sage, so you might as well sack it. There you go. I only take 2 damage and 1 to itself, unless he's doing 3 and then sacking it for a card, which probably is the best move. There we go. Looks like we got pass. Alright. Let's see if he buffs his pixie yet. It's got plenty of mana. And you know he can't block your pixie. I want to make sure while we're sitting here, I want to check to make sure Pixie didn't get any rule changes or anything that I'm not aware of. But I don't see why you can't this whole game and some last game give it a +1/+1. Well, there's an F. And I just checked. I can't remember the name of that artifact. Okay, so I just checked. There is 0 rules that I can find that would stop him from giving his pixie a +1/+1 last game and all of this game. So that is a hell of a lot of damage that could have already been went through. Let's see if it makes a difference in the end here. But I mean, what else is the card doing? I understand you want to make a big, nasty, scary creature an artifact so you can divine offering it, but if he's dead, he can't play them. So I think we missed an attack on the pixie, and we missed 3, possibly 4 with with the artifact buffing it. So it's like 6, 7, 8, maybe 8 damage more. Alright, so there's that guy going back to hand, I'm assuming. What am I missing here? Just let it go. He has 1 card in hand. He can't use the Bazaar. Doesn't really have a scary graveyard. There we go. Now we gave it a +1/+1. So I'd have to recalculate from scratch, but I'm assuming Jim could have been on 2. Let's see here. 6, 7, 8. Yeah, Jim might have been on like 1 or 2 life. And Tracker's out. And there's another one. Yeah, so we could have double buffed. Yeah, but according to what I'm looking at the moment, there's no reason why that can't put a +1/+1. Yeah, Ashnod's Transmogrant. It sacrifices itself to put a +1/+1 counter. And yes, according to all the different rules I've looked up from multiple sources, that Pixie could have had that on for like 4 or 5 turns. And he had a second one, so it could have been double the bonus, which, if all the math was right, and you can tell he wants to protect his Sage bad, but he could have already been dead. I'm not sure. Prison's on the Pixie, I'm assuming now, so it's a little too late now. But he can use the tracker to kill. Yeah, he can use tracker to kill the Sage on end step, I believe. And then killing Blow. But yeah, I wonder if somebody doesn't comments and somebody feels like doing it, go back and watch this game. If Jim did not block the Pixie and took the initial 2 damage, and after that, the artifact was sacked immediately for damage, I think Jim would have been dead already this turn. Yeah, you gotta kill. Not sure what's under the oubliette here. Ah, okay, there it is. So it's under the oubliette. I would still kill on end step. Alright, maybe I'm wrong. I gotta look that up here. But I thought we can use Tracker's ability anytime, but maybe I'm wrong. Yes. So in my mind, he could have killed the Sage and then attacked straight through with a buff. Yep, there we go. So there's the buff. We go down to 3. The prison is gone. There's the artifact. Now we can get more of him back and buff his creatures again. I'm not sure what Jim can pull out of his hat here, but he needs some kind of magical trick. Alright, well there you go. Wipe it out now, he can't get his artifacts back. Wait, what am I missing? Oh, okay. Looks like we had a bottle and... yeah, we had all kinds of stuff going on, but yeah, you couldn't stop it. So here you can kind of see a layout again. I know we showed the deck pictures, but guys always typically lay out the whole decks and talk about the decisions they made and why they made them for sideboarding and stuff, which is what we're usually blind to. So it is cool to be part of the Four Horsemen community. Very cool group. We're always trying to make each other play better and do better. I really enjoyed this game a lot. Congratulations to both you guys for getting that far, and I hope you guys have a wonderful night.